Hi folks, thanks for joining us today. I'm Mick from Summit Mountain Skills, and in this video I'm going to run through how we tie and stow Prusik loops. Reasons for carrying a Prusik loop when you're climbing is you want to use one to protect a personal abseil, or you might use it to ascend a rope or set up a hoist. I tend to carry 2 or 3 Prusiks. If I'm single pitch climbing, I'll carry 2. If I'm multi-pitch climbing, I'll carry 3. And I carry a selection of a couple of different diameters, sort of 5 and 6 millimeter. The 5 millimeter one I'll tend to use on brand new ropes that are super shiny and quite slippy. I'll use a smaller diameter. And if I've got a wetter rope where a smaller diameter would be really grippy, I'll tend to use my bigger 6 mil diameters. That's the reason for carrying a couple of different diameters. And these tend to live on the carabiner, just stowed down the back of my harness, out of the way, just in case I need to access them. So tying the Prusik, you need to start off with some climbing accessory cord, and it needs to be certificated for climbing, so make sure that you get it from a reputable climbing store. My Prusiks, when they're finished, the loop is 50 centimeters long, half a meter. I find that works really well for me for most situations. And to get a loop of that size, I need to start off with 1.4 meters. I've had this cut to length in the climbing shop, and they'll seal the ends. If you're buying it yourself in bulk at home and cutting it to length, just make sure you seal the ends. And a cigarette lighter works really well for that. Tying the loop together, I'm just going to do 2 double fishermans back to back. So I'll tie my first one around the other piece of rope. So it's a double fisherman. Sometimes people call this a double stopper knot. And I'm careful that when I tie the knot, it's nice and neat. But this end that sticks through, I don't want it too long, so it takes up too much of the rope and gives me a shorter loop. But I don't want it too short so it creeps through. So when the knot is nice and tight, I like something that's about 20 millimeters long, sort of thumb width, just sticking through. I find that works really well. So that's my first double fisherman's tied. So now I'm going to tie my second one around the piece of rope. And you can see again, I'm being careful to get that nice and neat and get this end the correct length just before I tighten the knot. So I've got that one nice and tight, and now I'm just going to draw the 2 together so they sit nice and neat, and really pull that nice and tight so everything cinches up. And as you can see now, that gives me a finished Prusik loop. And that will be approximately 50 centimeters long. So how do we get this stowed neatly on our harness to end up like this? This is the way that I carry them. It works really well for me. Nice and neat, nothing hanging down so it can't get caught in anything on the back of my harness. What I do is I start with a knot. So I'll just pull the loop like so. So I've got the knot there in my hand. And I'm just going to pull this back on itself to form a bend. And the length from here to the knot is probably about 80 millimeters to 100 millimeters long. And then all I'm going to do then is wrap this rope around itself, and I'll just pull that around. And at this point, I want to trap this bend. So I'll pull that back over, working forward towards my fingers and thumb, and you can see I've trapped it now, and I'm just going to wind that nice and neatly. I try and get no twists towards this head until I can't get any more bends in, and then I just pop this loop through those 2 like so, stick it through, pull it through the other side, pull everything nice and tight, and you can see now that gives me a nicely stowed Prusik loop that I can pop onto my carabiner and pop that on the back of my harness. And that is how we tie and stow a Prusik. Hope you found that useful, folks. Thanks very much for watching. If you're enjoying the videos, then please hit the subscribe button and check our Facebook page out as well, Summit Mountain Skills, to keep updated with what we're doing out on the hill. Thanks very much for watching. Hope to see you again. Happy climbing.